next session will be on Enrichers bootcamps and trainings. So this will be moderated by Fahima Saddoui Ramos from Enrich Global, our partner who's in lead for the bootcamps. And actually, just as an introduction, so our first bootcamps will take place in May in Rome, in Italy. So Fahima, I let you the floor, and yes, please start with the presentation on the short introduction on the bootcamps. Thank you.
Thank you, Christina, and thank you for all the great speakers we had today. It was really a great summit. Thank you. So we're going to, as a part of Enrich Global, Justine Defos, and she's here, and I, very happy to be here to give you some information about the bootcamp. But also, we will focus on the bootcamp today, but I would like to give you an overview of what will happen before the bootcamp and after the bootcamp. Before presenting the people who are going to stay with us later. So for the fellows, I mean, those European researchers and innovators who are going to be selected for the NGI Enrichers, we will have in the spring 2023 a virtual kickoff introducing all the different fellows and their project to the NGI community of partners, maybe in April. The next April. Also, we will have online training sessions about different subjects like perfect pitch, how to get your visa to go to the US, or how to get your visa to go to Canada, and also training about the platform and the tools we will put that you will use to communicate with the partners, with the other fellows, or with the mentors. We will come back to the bootcamp. The bootcamps, it will take place in the 15th and 16th of May, the next May, in person, in Italy, in Rome, exactly, at the Temple University campus. And after the bootcamp, we will have different webinars about different other topics. One of them, very important one, is the intellectual property. Let's go on with the next slide, please. Yes, we will implement also a platform for the mentoring, for the community management, in order for you to stay in contact before, during, and after and after your expedition to the US and Canada. We will have on-demand mentorship at the same time, so you never be alone in this case. So that is really a great program. Next slide, please. So today we would like to focus on the in-person pre-departure bootcamp, and I have some of the great team trainers who will be with us in Rome. Blandine from Temple University, located in Philadelphia. She's our expert in intercultural. And then I will give the floor to Ranan. She's our expert in pitch. She's American and located in Paris. And also, just to come back, we will have in Rome, Bernard, you heard at the beginning of this summit, and Tariq. Bernard is from MyTech in Canada, and Tariq from University of Minnesota is going to explain more about transformation and innovation. Bernard is going to explain more about ecosystem in the US and Canada. And today we will have also Andrea, Dr. Andrea from Switzerland, to speak about alternative and funding. So just to come back to the slide before, thank you. What is bootcamp? Just to explain, a bootcamp, in-person bootcamp, that means 2 days training sessions taking place in Rome, the 15th of May and the 16th of May, gathering all the European researchers and innovators who will be selected for this program. We want them to be prepared before to go to the US and before to go to the Canada, and we want them to follow them in order to get their success in their expedition. Just to have some of them, I would like to ask one question to the first speaker, who will be also in Rome, Blandine Chantepicari from Temple University, located in Philadelphia. I just want to ask to Blandine, why do we need to understand and to train the European researchers and innovators in the topic of intercultural before their expedition to the US and Canada? Blandine?
Because you will have to negotiate and collaborate with people from different cultures, and you will make faux pas. And our training is really practical. It may not help you make no mistakes, but when you make a mistake, you will be able to kind of, introspect and correct it. But even among ourselves in Europe, we make mistakes. And it's even more true with North America. And with our, Francophile Québécois, even for French speakers, we do make mistakes. So our part on intercultural, really practical, will make you stand up, think of your values, think on the cultural mapping and how it can affect discussions, how it can affect building trust and long-lasting relationship collaborations, and having a little fun as well. So an additional thing I want to say, it's our bootcamps, the way we created it, it's only in person. It's not going to be hybrid. It's to create connections. It's really going to be, you're going to be involved in your training and a lot of practices. So hopefully you will all be able to come for people selected. And we're going to build those relationships. Then you're going to travel for the fellows. They're going to travel all over Canada and the US. So you won't have that in-person connections. So that's our goal, and intercultural will be part of it.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Blandine. I think we have Rhiannon Macmillan from our pitch expert. She will be also in Rome with us. And a question for you, Rhiannon. What are the challenges with the pitch? Why do we need to pitch in the US and Canada?
So there are quite a few challenges with the pitch, but I think the biggest thing is, of course, you want to convince people and inspire them and motivate them to want to work with you, whether it's with a partnership or prospects and clients, collaborators, employees that you want to work with. So a pitch is a kind of teaser. If you think about, when you go to the movies and you see the trailers for a movie, and the trailer's really well done, well, you're inspired. You want to see the rest of the movie. You want to go to the movie. And sometimes the trailers are really great and the movie's really great. Sometimes the trailers are not so good. So you might rely on your word of mouth. But the idea with a great pitch is to inspire people. It's a teaser to ask you questions and learn more about what you're doing, your project, and what your intentions are.
I think it's great. Rhiannon, how do you help European researchers and innovators to pitch?
Okay. So I'm really excited to be part of this program. So what we're going to do in Rome is we're going to talk about you and your project, your startup, and really talk about your individual context that will help us to get the content. And we're going to work in a very interactive and dynamic session with concrete tools, techniques, things to really talk about getting that content so that it's solid. You're convinced by your own content. And when you're convinced by your own content, others are. So when we're talking about content, we're talking about, okay, what's the storyboard? How are we going to structure it? What are those elements that make your project really strong? So it could be about your IP. It could be about your value proposition is already validated and you know that people already want what you have to offer. It could be about the different examples of what you've already done. There's lots of different things we need to put in that structure and storyboard, and it's different for every project. I mean, there's certain things that are always going to be part of the market, like I talked about, the validation, the entry, those things remain constant, and especially your differentiation, why you instead of somebody else. So we're going to work on that. And once we have that solid content, of course, it's not all about what you say, it's about how you say it too. So we're going to work on things that are impact techniques, because we know the brain does not pay attention to ordinary things. So we have to do something extraordinary to get them to pay attention to you. And then we're going to, once we have that solid content and we have those impact techniques, then it's about the delivery, your platform presence, your posture, what kind of posture, what do you want to create as an emotion in the room? How do you want people to see you? What image are you projecting? How are you using your body language, your voice? Are you modulating? What kind of emotion do you want to inspire from others? And then the last piece that we might get into, if we have time, is not only the pitch, but what happens after the pitch, which is just as important, that Q&A session where we have those conversations and they ask you questions and they're ready to go into due diligence.
Wow, what a great teaser. We all want to be in Rome, I think, to listen to you. Thank you so much, Rana. Maybe, Blondie, you wanted to add something? Yes. Sorry.
I can add a lot on the second day. So the first day, intercultural, also about the collaboration between the agreements between Canada and the US with our specialist Fahima on that. And the pitch, you're going to have also some pitch element on the Tuesday. So it's really all about the pitch. We are going to have presentation from our colleagues about how to manage innovation, what innovation means in North America, which can be different, and also the ecosystems. If you don't know, it's really about networking, and the experience, how to leverage a network and keep a network, and how already existing stakeholders, ecosystems, transatlantic ecosystem in North America can be great ally for your projects, making sure you have an impact within the mission, so 3 months to 6 months. Like that is one of the criteria for being selected. And then the stakeholders in that ecosystem will make sure that you can deliver on your promises. So those, I think I covered all the points of the Monday and the Tuesday. We are going to have networking, lunch, dinner, events. You will have also the opportunity to see the different NGI consortium partners, which are great partners as well for you to work with or collaborate in North America, but also in Europe. We can't wait to be in Rome in May, I need to say. It has been too long.
Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you. Okay, so we are in Rome and we will continue with our speaker and trainer who is going to be in Rome with us, Andrea from Switzerland. And Andrea will cover more about alternative funds because the enrichers, I mean, the applicants who will be accepted in the NGI Enrichers will receive money, as the colleague said before. Andrea, what do you think in Switzerland we can apply for all programs in order to stay more maybe in the US or in Canada?
Yes, hello everybody. I think this is the perfect match. What we will present in Rome and how we will train our fellows in Rome. So just saying about Switzerland, there are very competent researchers in Switzerland, and it's up to you also from the US and from Canada to attract them. And being a part of the consortium partners, we just enabled the Swiss to also get access to the money. So we have a bunch of money for some of the researchers coming over to the US and to Canada. And I think it's really a great opportunity to attract the best researchers. So if ever you have know good research groups in Switzerland all around, maybe the Swiss Technology Institute, ETH or EPFL, then contact them and inform them about there is funding for Swiss researchers to join. It's not just Swiss nationals, it's very often also international researchers being in Switzerland. And because of the political status of Switzerland right now, it would not be possible, but through NGI Enrichers, it's possible. So my topic in Rome will be to talk not just about the Swiss, but enable all the fellows to think beyond just getting the 3 up to the 6 month funding. I will stimulate the thinking just out of the box, not just all around research, but all around funding and research. So a researcher's career, if they just think about getting the next funding for, could be a fellowship or for one of their projects, that's not going to work in a sustainable way. So we will think about funding from the national, international level, from private sources and public sources. We'll think about basic research and applied research all the way down to set up a startup. So we heard before from Raphael, he did the basic research and went all the way down to creating a startup. And this is what we are going to talk about. We will have, I think, only 2 hours in Rome, so that's a very short time. Usually I have 2 days with the fellows. I teach at very many universities in Switzerland, but also in Europe, in Technical University of Delft, in Krakow, in many, many other European cities. So my specialty is to open up the minds for funding all around research and set up a research portfolio with the fellows for their next years. So a researcher in our context, now NGI Enrichers, can maybe get a little funding, but then get a great idea for the next 10 years ahead, maybe, all the way down to a professorship, all the way down to set up a scalable company, just being a part of Enrich. Also to prolong the stay in the US or Canada, just in a short term, or have a reintegration into a European group with a great opportunity for what Rhiannon said, a very authentic and a very maybe intrinsically driven approach. So I'm really happy, Rhiannon, when they already can express what they want, so we can make them really shout out loud what they want, what great idea they have, and make it happen within the research community and the innovation community worldwide. So back and forward, US, Canada, and Europe, and yeah, just join forces. Without funding, I tell you, it's not going to work. That's why we are working already 20 years on just funding all around research, and are very happy to contribute to give our fellows the boost.
Thank you so much, Andrea. I think we all understand that without funding, we can't do anything. Without pitching, we can't do anything also. Without intercultural subject, we can't do anything also, because we are not going to succeed in our project. We have also Tarek, just to come back to him with the innovation, I mean the management of the innovation, and Bernard about the ecosystem in Canada and in the US. It will be really a great time. And Andrea, you don't have really more than 2 days, but you're going to stay with us 2 days in Rome, more than that. So you will have time to exchange with all the fellows and partners who will be there. Just to come back with what will happen after the NGI Enrichers, maybe Blandine, you wanted to say something?
I think you covered everything. I just, unless we have questions, I can answer questions. But I think you covered all the main points of the bootcamp.
Okay. Right. So we're all looking forward to welcoming you in Rome the next 15 and 16 of May. So if you have any question, please just use the discussions, and we're all here to listen to you. Thank you so much for staying with us until now, and to listen all of the experts about NGI Enrichers Fellowship Transatlantic Program. Thank you.